All right, you guys, we are here on the podcast today with a guest I'm actually so excited about for so many reasons. He's been a guest before on Heidi's Lane, but for a very different reason. I think we were taking a trip down memory lane and having fun. Today, I am bringing back my baby brother, Denver Lane. Hi, Denver.
Hi.
Who is the owner of a place called Nulevel Wellness, where they focus on hormone replacement therapy, weight loss, peptides. What else did I miss?
Blood work, all the fun stuff.
All the fun stuff.
Anti-aging. We do blood work for food sensitivities, micronutrient deficiencies, cancer screening, kind of all that.
All sorts of things. And so Nulevel was started in 2021, right?
Yep, towards the end.
2021. 4 years in, they have such an incredible business because they really have found a niche in things that people need for their health to kind of take it to the next level. I have seen, I know so many people who are continually not only coming back to you guys over and over, but referring people, like gobs of people over and over, because you take care of people. You're helping them feel better than ever and achieve these amazing health goals. So I want to say though, the reason I want you on today, Denver, is you guys on the podcast, you've heard me talk on social media and just online about how I don't know. I'm not against the weight loss shots per se.
Are you sure?
But I am not for them. Let me just tell you a story. Denver and I actually were starting Nulevel Wellness together in 2021. And when I understood the direction they wanted to go, he and the other partner, who's still his partner at the time,
Yep.
I backed out because I was like, I don't know. I don't know if they're safe. I don't want to get in trouble. I'm in weight loss. I'm here to teach people how to eat healthy. I'm here to teach them how to work out. I don't want people thinking I'm pushing the easy way out. It was all of these things. And you and I, for the most part, have kind of stayed away from really talking about it. I'll ask you how business is, and you've tried to get me to help you out and get on board. And I'm like, no.
We talked about it for a while. I tried to get you involved early on. And then when you're like, Denver, it's just not me.
Yeah.
So, okay, understand.
And you've come back a few times.
Yeah. And a big thing for me is because I totally understand where and there's other people that you're friends with in the same loop that we've talked about as an ambassador program or whatever, right? With an audience. And I totally understand the idea of we got to do it natural. Want to do it the right way, right?
Yep.
But I guess for me, I've learned it because I'm lucky. I can just, dial in my diet, quit drinking and go to the gym and get where I need to be in a certain amount of time.
Yeah.
But my aspect on all that has changed.
Yeah.
Seeing lots of people come in that have tried everything, and a lot of it, for me, the funny part is a lot of the big deterrent is a lot of people are just judgy about it.
Are you calling me judgy?
No, but I've heard so many people, she looks good, but she's on the skinny shot. She doesn't count.
Almost like taking away credibility because they did the skinny shot.
Totally.
Yeah.
And it's,
go ahead,
sorry.
Well, I was going to say, that's why I want you on here today, because you started talking about stuff with me the other day. And then I'm like, hold on. Because you were trying to convince me.
Yeah.
And I'm like, don't convince me right now, because if you think you can convince me, I want my audience to hear this too. And you know what, chances are there are people listening right now who are already doing some kind of shot, right? And maybe you're proudly losing weight and you're sharing it. Maybe you're hiding it. I actually know people who are on shots who are hiding it because of what you just said. There's shame
I hear it
in
every
it for
day.
them. Do you really?
I see it every day.
And then there's people who are like, hell no.
Yeah.
I'm never doing it. You guys are all, I hear all of it. And so for me, it's been easier to step out. I kind of have taken the stance, and I talked about it once, where I'm like, okay, for diabetes or whatever, cool, do it. Actually do it and do whatever. But I don't really want to give an opinion. I feel like though, I want to hear what you have to say, because can I tell you my worry about it?
Yeah.
So my worry about anything that is quick and easy is they're not building the lifestyle habits to sustain the weight loss over time. So that's number one. And so I worry anytime like money comes easy for someone per se, someone wins the lottery, they have a huge business success very quickly, they have instant fame, whatever it is. Anytime I've seen anyone do something fast, they've always like it's lottery syndrome, which dad used to talk about. Like you win the lottery, you think your life is forever solved. And your life is actually you're more depressed, you're more unhappy because you didn't actually work for it. So maybe maybe I'm judging. And maybe I'm saying people who are doing the skinny shot aren't working for it. Therefore, they can't appreciate it. Therefore, they might be in a worse position like down the road than if they started. I think the second thing I'll say is I was anorexic, as you know, anorexic and bulimic. And I know when you start to have control over food after a long time of not, like, are there chances that this could turn to anorexia or malnourishment for someone and it could be more unhealthy down the road, right? So those are my two big things.
Okay. Well, let's start off with the anorexia one. I can see that the truth is, if you're doing anything in excess amounts, right? It can be anything though. It can be testosterone. It can be real steroids. It can be too much alcohol. Anything is going to get dangerous. And with the weight loss injections, the important part is that you're not getting it off of some research only website.
Yeah.
For half price where you don't know where it's coming from. You don't know the correct dosing. You don't know looking at the trials where there were serious side effects. You don't know what dosages they were on, how long they were on it. So the point is you have to do it through a doctor because a doctor is going to say, hey, you have Ozempic face. You are malnourished. You're losing hair. And so there's a right way. It's like with hormones, right? I've been on testosterone for 11 years and I've never felt like a juice head. Yeah. I use it to sleep good. I use it to have energy. Yeah. I use it to feel younger. And the truth is you want everything to be balanced. And it's like that with the Ozempic or like that with the tirzepatide.
I'm actually just figuring this out with hormones. So I have also always been anti-hormones. Like when I would go get my hormones tested at Nulevel over the last 4 years. You wouldn't even
take the creams. 4 years. Do the creams.
This is true story. My testosterone, you guys, has always been down. The doctors would always look at me and say, you're definitely high in testosterone. I can tell by your muscular makeup. They would test me and I was like 10, 18 if it was a good day. Like my testosterone was 6. My free test was like 0.1. It was so low. It was almost off the charts for I don't even know how long. Like as long as you were testing
probably
me.
After cash.
Yes.
I mean, when people finish pregnancy, that's where we just see hormone levels go crazy. They have no progesterone. They have no testosterone. Their estrogen's too high. And there's negative side effects if your hormones are too high or too low. Yeah. And so you want everything to be balanced.
Right in the middle. And you guys would always say when I'd go in, you're like, if you don't want to do the injections, just do the cream. And I would never do it. Never. It actually took a friend of mine who does cream herself to be like, it's so low. You're so tired, which actually was weakening my immune system. I was getting sick more. Ironically, I have a cold right now. But this was only like 2.5 months ago, I started trying the cream and I even text you and I'm like, this is working so well. Like, I feel like I'm doing something wrong. And then I was convinced that like after I started doing the cream, first I tried the injections. I was so scared. The cream is more stable. I'm doing the absolute lowest dose of cream. And I'm like, I have to test my blood because I'm certain it's going to be like off the charts high because I had so much energy. My muscles were getting bigger. My workouts were like through the roof. I was hungry again, which was great. It's at 56, Denver. Did I tell you this?
No, I didn't know that.
That's 56, which is perfect. Yeah. Because like, what is that range? They don't want women's like, I wouldn't want mine above 100.
Yeah. Chris likes in between 60 and 80. So
okay.
You're like
56. My free is only 0.8. And I feel this good. And so
you've been missing out all these years.
Basically, all of this to say you were right. And I'm also doing progesterone. Did I tell you that?
No,
I'm doing 100 milligrams at night. I sleep like a rock. Awesome. I do it not when I start my period for that week. I do not do it because your progesterone levels go up. So I let my body take care of that. And then after period's over, I do 100 milligrams a night. And I am like, my estrogen has naturally come up. I'm sorry, I'm bragging because I'm so excited. my FSH, which is my follicular stimulating hormone, which the higher, you guys, anyone listening, the higher your FSH is, the closer you are to menopause. So I think 25 and above for like a year straight or something means you're like menopausal. I was at 23.
And that number's come down?
We're not like, just sorry, I'm your sister,
it's
but
fine.
I was dry, like literally.
Never mind. Not fine.
I had no sex drive. I mean, it could have been the relationship I was into. Like, I don't know. We're not going to go there. There's another podcast for another day. I hope he's not listening. He won't know who it is because there were a few. I'm just kidding. Not at the same time. Gosh. And I wonder why I'm the black sheep of the family.
I am too. Don't worry. I'm the golden sheep.
You are. I am the black sheep. Am I not? Be honest.
I think I'm the black sheep.
You're the golden child.
I don't know.
No, Denver, you are 100% the golden child. I am 100% the black sheep. And that's a different podcast too.
Podcast. Just don't talk about dad again. I don't want to start crying.
Okay, so getting back to, I had my hormones tested. This was like 5 months ago. My estrogen was plummeted. I had none. Testosterone gone. I was already doing progesterone. FSH was through the roof. So I'm like, holy shit. I was 42 at the time. I'm already going through menopause. Like that number says I'm going through menopause. The estrogen low, everything happening in my body. I was fully having hot flashes. Wow. I did like at Ruby's science camp. We were in the cold. I was steaming. I'm not kidding. I was having hot flashes. I was steaming. And so I actually went into my friend Molly and she's like, Heidi, I have seen women through this. Just trust me, try this out. Okay, so not only is my testosterone perfect, I feel amazing. My lymph nodes, I'm like healing, Denver. My cortisol, my waking cortisol for the last 3 years has been 25. I can like, it's so freaking sky high. On my last test results, the first time in 3 years, my morning cortisol is down where it should be. It's 5. Awesome. My prolactin levels are regulated. My testosterone is even. My free is up. My FSH, the thing that said I was going through menopause over and over, it's a 3.
Awesome.
All I swear because I started doing hormone replacement therapy. I'm balanced.
It blows my mind how
we hear and that. I have a sex drive again.
Oh, cool. Yay. Good job, Molly. You released Heidi.
She has. Well, it's either Molly or something else. Go ahead.
No, but it's funny. I hear that feedback all the time and people don't realize the benefits of it aside from what you're explaining.
Yeah.
You can do certain techniques with it when you're out of a fresh knee surgery, shoulder surgery.
Really? Like, give me an example. So
like
if someone's...
My buddy just went to one of the top athletic trainers for his knee surgery. Had a second knee surgery. He tore it doing playing jujitsu. He was playing jujitsu, and he tore it for the second time. And that doctor doubled his testosterone for 6 weeks.
Wow! Now a girl couldn't do that because we'll lose our hair.
I mean, you could. It would just be at a fraction, like 1/10 of what we would do, right?
Yeah. And that helped heal faster.
It's crazy. He did that. And then what we added on was the BPC 157 mixed with TB 500. That's a peptide that's for recovery. It's good for your heart.
BPC 157. You gave that to me in capsule formula.
We have it in capsule and we have it in injection.
Okay.
So that's anyway, we put those together and it was insane. I have another friend just wrecked on a dirt bike. He tore both of his MCLs and he was in 2 braces at the gym. People are laughing.
No.
And he feels much better. I mean, it's time and time again. I have friends that are at the Rebels playing pickleball.
Yeah.
And they come in but the testosterone has a lot of benefits. But really the biggest misconception is, even for me, when I had my hormones tested back before I started, people will come in with 300 testosterone levels.
Like guys, a man.
A guy.
So what should a man be at?
I've done it long enough. The answer is 1,000. Okay. But I've done it long enough that I know where I feel best.
Yeah.
In terms of how my blood pressure feels when I wake up, my heart when I'm working out. And for me, the sweet spot's 850 to 900.
Okay.
I've strategically done blood work and been on it long enough at 700, see how I feel. I've done it at 850 and then a little bit over 1,000. When I did 75 hard, I stopped drinking. I ate only meat and fruit. I did everything, the cold plunge sauna, the 2 workouts, and I cut my testosterone in half.
Yeah.
And it went to 1347.
Because of all of the stuff you were doing naturally.
Because of the stuff I was doing correct. Yeah.
Yeah. Like cold plunge. Yeah.
And that's why I kind of bring up the natural. Because for me, less is more.
I agree.
With the weight loss injections, take the lowest dose possible for as little of a period of time, right? You don't want to take advantage of anything. Testosterone, if you know you're going to be eating like garbage for the whole summer, then you probably need to keep your levels where they're at. But if you go on a 75 hard, you go on a strict lifestyle change, you can actually lower your levels. And as long as you're doing your blood work, you know you are where you're supposed to be.
Wow.
And so I'm just less is more everything. I'm always erring on the side of caution for anything.
Yeah.
But the testosterone, it's life-changing. And my earlier point, you'll go into a doctor, say your levels are 250, 300, and the actual range that Access or SnoreQuest or LabCorp shows is saying, oh, it's normal because you're within 280 and 1200. And
which is almost average. They're saying average?
Yeah, it takes in like the age 18 to 80.
Yeah.
And so they're saying you're in the normal range. But
for one of these ages.
I don't want to feel like a 75-year-old. I want to feel like a 21-year-old. And it's not, like I said, not like looking like a juice head. It's the sleep, it's the energy, it's the recovery. I'm sure now if you tear something, you're going to recover twice as fast.
Well, it's the vitality and the longevity. Like the thing, one of the things I've kind of reframed as I've aged, it's not that I want to not age. I love aging. I love what it comes with. I love who I am as a result, all the different things that come with it. I want to take this one body that I have, this one face, this every heart, all of my insides. I want them to last as long as possible. And if I focus on, I just want to look younger always, in a lot of ways that can cut my life expectancy. But if I focus on how do I make my body, my life, my face, my health last as long as possible, that's what I want to do. And that's what I'm actually starting to realize. And that is also why I wanted to wait as long as I did to do testosterone. First of all, all the boys got the good hair in the family. I got dad's thin, crappy hair.
How gray I am.
Yeah, but you have a effing rug on your head, Denver.
That's thin.
You have a rug. Mine, I'm 40. I'm a girl. And this is still with a little bit of extensions for thickness. For testosterone, if a woman takes too much, like testosterone releases the DHT into your body, hits your scalp, and you can lose your hair. So going on test, I've been testing my levels like crazy because I don't want to lose my hair. I've been testing DHT. I've been taking DHT blocker. So I'm by the way, ladies, if you also have thin hair and you're going on testosterone, do Nutrafol. Yes. Nutrafol Women's formula. I do Nutrafol DHT. You can DM me. I'll get you a link to it. I think I have a code. But the DHT blocker I get from you guys.
Awesome.
And then I also do a 2.5 milligram minoxidil, oral minoxidil, just to make sure I am covered. I still do my laser hat because it's really a thing you have to be careful of.
Just to make you feel better though. Yeah. And even if there's some guys listening, you would be shocked. Like the specimens that stand up on stage, like at physique shows or strongman contests, just to put it into perspective, their levels are like 4,000 to 6,000.
Yes. And they're not just on testosterone. Correct. They're on Winstrol and not even Anavar.
And they have an argument. It's a debate that what they're doing is actually healthy. I mean, it's not so far-fetched that it's just going to kill you. Yeah. Because they are doing a certain protocol with everything. Yeah. But I would never be that high. But sometimes girls will come in and their levels are as high as mine.
Really? Yeah. And they look like me?
Sometimes.
Really?
Maybe a little stronger. But honestly, you would just be shocked on how high you can get those
What would you think my levels were at? If you were to
I'd probably guess 50.
Okay.
50 to 80.
So I really don't look that jacked. Cool.
No, but you look good. You look perfect. That's the
I've gained a little bit of fat. I'm a little softer. I like it.
It looks healthier.
I'm more feminine. Yeah.
It looks healthier. But people always just think, 1,000's high. No, it's not.
You're 4,000's high.
We had some military kid come in and he was 23 years old. His levels were naturally 1,600.
Wait, naturally without taking anything?
Never taken anything.
What?
And he wanted hormones because he thought we're like, no, all he needed was something called boron. It's a
I know boron is. I take it. I used to.
Over the counter supplement that releases your free T.
Is that what that does?
That's all he needed to do.
I took Boratab when I was trying to. It didn't do anything for me because my body was just locked up. But
there's all these misconceptions, and really it boils down to do something with a doctor that has experience. Chris has been doing this for 20 years, 22 years now since we opened up. And he ran a wellness center before this.
Yeah.
He's super familiar with what people look like when they're too skinny.
Yeah.
What people look like when they have, it could be anything. He helps with everything.
Okay.
But to answer your question about working hard, that's something that I forgot to answer about losing the.
Well, real quick before we go to weight loss, because I want to get to you. Everyone wants to hear about weight loss, but for hormones, if someone is listening, I don't even know the answer to this because I didn't do any of your guys' business stuff. Like if someone's in another state and they're listening, can they do hormones through you or do they have to be local?
We do
How
both.
does that work?
Yeah, we do both. Yeah. So we're part of a network that we work in different states.
Okay.
And we have different pharmacies that work in different states, different medical directors, different states. And so we can do it all. And we make it really easy. So basically we'll email you a form.
Yeah.
That form will go to your email, print it out, take it to a lab corp near you. They will take the blood and they'll send it into Chris. You schedule a consultation over the phone with him. He'll go over, it's a 30-minute thing. He goes over all these markers with you. Red and white blood cells, liver function, kidney function, hemoglobin levels, free T, everything, all your hormones. And it's a really cool test because if something's out of whack, your red and white blood cells will be off. People don't realize how bad their liver is or their kidney.
You guys have helped me with all those things. Like, not even hormones. I had you and Chris do blood work for me to help with my kidney stuff too.
It's super easy and efficient.
Okay. So that's awesome. Good to know. I didn't know that. I do know that the weight loss, like all of the skinny shots, whatever, is skinny shot one or are they all of them called skinny shots?
So the term skinny shot is because it's really hard to market on Facebook, Instagram, and Google.
Okay.
And skinny shot is something that a lot of the marketing agencies we work with will use because it gets around
weight
brand
loss
names that might be
Ozempic,
Ozempic or Mounjaro, right? But Meta or Facebook's cracked down, and so it's kind of hard to market for it now.
Which you guys have been doing this since before anyone else was. You were like one of the first.
We were like the first. I remember Chris saying, hey, there's something called semaglutide. You lose 16% of your body fat.
I remember. I was like, they're going to get in trouble. Like I was telling Dave.
Yeah.
I'm like, this is not good.
And even me. And then we all took it together and we were zombies because we all took too much. We took the recommended dose.
Oh.
And we were, I was at the toilet for 3 days. It was awful. All of our providers were just walking around like zombies. It was so
but did you fix it? So now do you do a different dose? And now
it's completely different now. That was the dosing that came from Ozempic based on somebody with a BMI and all these things.
Okay.
But they weren't back then. They didn't tell you, hey, 25% of patients are going to get nauseous, constipated, or
is that what it still is?
Yeah, with the semaglutide, Ozempic and Wegovy, about 25% of our patients will get nausea, constipation, or acid reflux.
See, so those are all the stories that have been told to me. By the way, you guys, I didn't finish the thought. You guys ship weight loss, the different shots everywhere.
Same day consults, next day meds.
Okay, so it's like immediate. Again, I'm not. You're going to sell me out. You're going to tell me what you think, and I'm going to tell you what I think. But for operationally, I think it's really awesome what you guys have because Marley actually works for you.
She's the best there.
Because from what I've seen, you guys actually dose it for people so they don't mess it up. I've seen that. That's what Marley does.
We offer both. Yeah. Okay. Some we've heard, and that's because a lot of people are not familiar with syringes. We'll find out someone calls in and they're like, hey, I'm just super sick. Like, well, what are you doing? Let's go over your diet. Okay, well, I'm taking 2 full syringes a week. I'm like, man, that's 20 milligrams. It's not even a dosage that high.
Is that like twice as much?
It's 25% higher than the max dosage. Okay. And the max dosage, we'll get into this. The max dosages are the ones that long-term I personally just wouldn't do in terms of like 10 years because I don't need to. I want to lose like 5 pounds, right?
Okay.
It's just different for everybody. But yeah, and then we have people that call in complaining like, hey, I've had no benefits. Like, okay, well, let's go over this. What are you doing? And we find out they're injecting 1/10 of what they're supposed to be injecting. People just aren't familiar with it. And so we offer that service for patients that want it loaded for them. We'll do it in the office for them, but it's a lot more cumbersome. I'd rather just send out the bottle, honestly, but patients don't like it.
They don't like that.
They want that convenience.
Yeah. So I know what you guys do. You do a really great job, and I know you guys get them. You're like one of the best.
I honestly, I'm not just saying this. I don't think there's a better team or a better practice. All the girls there are amazing. All the providers are awesome. Chris is fun to work with. We have the best phlebotomist in the state.
You do. Yeah, I love her.
I know. I mean, the team is it's just so dialed in now. It's changed so much since we first opened up. I remember when that first TikTok took off and we were in bed and everything just started ding, 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 ding. And then the next day we had 20 consults and I'm like, oh my gosh, what do we do? And Chris already had a schedule. And so it was a learning curve. And at the time we said, all right, this is going to die in like 90 days. Yeah. So let's just bear with it. Everyone, all hands on deck. Yeah. Everyone's helping with boxes, trash. Yeah. And then it just didn't stop.
No way.
Then even with all the controversy and all these things, a lot of it's tied to Ozempic, which people don't know. Okay. A lot of I want to say everything, but I might be wrong. So don't fact check me. Okay. Everything I've heard has been tied to semaglutide.
Because I hear a lot of horror stories about that.
But it's been around longer. And the thing with semaglutide that people don't realize is their concentration and their dosage is equal to like an 18-pack of beer. That it gets so strong
in order for it to work.
On the top dosage that it's going to wipe a lot of people out. Really? So you want to stay away from those high dosages. What tirzepatide did was
so how is tirzepatide different than semaglutide?
So tirzepatide's a different maker.
Okay.
Different everything. It hits 2 receptors in the body. So semaglutide hits your GLP-1 receptor.
Yes. Okay.
Do you know what that does?
It makes you not hungry. It's like basically I do those super gut bars.
Helps with your appetite. It makes you stay full longer, get full faster. It slows down the digestion, and it kind of helps. I'll end it there. Okay. Well, with tirzepatide, it hits your GLP-1, which does the same thing, and then it hits your GIP receptor. So it's an additional receptor.
What's a GIP?
It's another receptor in your brain for additional appetite. Hunger.
Okay.
Yeah. And so
you're like doubling down on hunger.
You're going an extra step, but the benefit, I don't know, Chris will know if it's because that receptor or if it's the medication, but that medication has 4% only 4% of patients actually get nauseous.
Instead of the 25%.
So a lot less nausea, a lot less constipation. And then the best part about it is it helps for inflammation. We have a huge following, or helps with inflammation. We have a huge following of patients that take a light dose, not even for weight loss.
Really?
Just for inflammation. It helps with MS. It helps with Hashimoto's. It helps with PCOS. We have people that take
rheumatoid arthritis. I'm sure any
anti-inflammatory.
Yeah, any autoimmune, because that's inflammation in the body.
And so when people talk about, what are the long-term effects? The first thing I want to talk about is what are the long-term effects of inflammation in the body. Yeah, it's the most unhealthy thing if you dig into it. Everything you eat, dairy, all these things cause inflammation. Inflammation's like the most unhealthy thing. So they talk about the long-term side effects. Yeah. And I always talk about the inflammation, but first off, the majority of people that we're working with, your blood pressure's 180 over 110. Yeah. Your cholesterol is out the roof. Yeah. And you're carrying all this weight that's bad on your joints. It makes no sense for the majority of people, if you imagine yourself on this road for 10 years versus that road, there's no ifs, ands, buts. The tirzepatide is going to be a healthier option.
Okay.
And that's before you get into the benefits of the inflammation.
Yeah.
Right? Because that's a whole nother thing.
Just because there's that second receptor, fewer side effects. Oh, and then it's also an anti-inflammatory.
Yeah.
Yeah. One of the things as you're even talking about this, it's like I have been so closed off, so closed-minded on a lot of this stuff. I really didn't even want to think about it because I'm like, well, I'll teach nutrition, all that fun stuff. But you had said something the other day. I don't remember exactly what you said, but you said almost like, well, you might as well get on the wagon because it's literally not going anywhere.
It's not going
anywhere.
And
I think I thought it was. I think we all thought it was. We thought, okay, this will be around for 90 days. People are going to get sick. They're going to die. Lots of, crazy things are going to happen, and it's going to be like banned.
Yeah.
And it's not going anywhere.
It's not going anywhere. I've talked to people that run pharmacies like Walmart.
Yeah.
And their 2 cents was, this is going to be the biggest thing since blood pressure medication.
That's what you said.
And it's crazy to think about. It is so much healthier than what the alternative is. And it's like taking out the whole judgment aspect, right?
Yeah.
Don't be judgy towards me. I'm the least judgmental person. I'm a full-blown Mormon that drinks alcohol.
I love you so much.
But I say that because the word of wisdom for me is making sure my organs are good, making sure. And when I think about what a margarita does versus a weight loss injection, the margarita is way unhealthier, right? So why am I worried about an injection that's going to help with insulin sensitivity? It's going to help with inflammation. And why am I worried when I'm taking 1/5 the starting dose? I'm doing it for 30 days at a time, and I'm getting off of it for 6 months. So that's just the way I think. A lot of people don't agree with it, but at the end of the day, I'm very non-judgmental if someone's against it or if they're for it. Everyone, you do you. But at the end of the day, if you're taking care of your body.
Yeah, and you said something else when we were talking here. I don't remember if it was before we recorded or after. Maybe it was during. But I don't want to say I've been against it. Like I've been I definitely don't judge. I never have judged anyone who's doing it. I think I've been scared to promote it or talk about it because I never wanted to put anyone's life in danger, right? Like it just not knowing. It's kind of like, it reminds me actually, my stance on that reminds me of most people's stances on ketamine, which is a thing and psilocybin and different medicine journeys, which ketamine too is an anti-inflammatory in your body systemically and neurologically. It reduces inflammation. It's not like the primary benefit of it, but one of the secondary benefits is that it actually reduces inflammation in your body. So it's like, there's literally no argument, right? If you're doing it safely, and everything is about safety. But now I'm realizing, like, as I'm talking about and promoting ketamine because of my experience with it, I see the lack of the people who are closed-minded and not willing to see what it actually is, how it actually helps your body, how it actually helps people create new neural pathways and heal from intense trauma, right?
Yeah.
So it's like, yes, there are risks with this, but now me being here and seeing what's happening, right, with like what people say is now making me like, oh man, have I been that way with weight loss shots? Am I like not want, I just, I don't know. There's a lack of info.
And it's still growing. Do you remember when mom used to get Botox and she was like, don't tell anybody.
Our parents did Botox and
hormone therapy,
HGH and testosterone, everything. Like back when they were like in their 30s.
Yeah. And so it's getting to that point.
It's like 30 years ago.
It's getting to that point now where it is becoming more accepted because everyone's doing it, and they're not doing it to be vain. They're doing it because, holy cow, you were 420 pounds. Now you're 250 and you're running. And it's, I understand. I like what you said about the journey is what changes your lifestyle. But realistically, when we get somebody that's in the mid 300s, they're going to be on this medication for a year.
Yeah.
They get that lifestyle change because all they're doing is learning what healthy food portion sizes are. They're learning that you still need to eat your protein. And that's what we do. I've always loved nutrition, and our whole program there is based around, don't just take the shots. If you want to lose 5 pounds a month, take the shots. If you want to lose 8 to 12, take the shots and do this. And so people they get off it and they say, my taste buds have changed forever.
Because that palate has shifted. You're now.
Completely.
Yeah. Is it, okay. Like not to interrupt, but like, do you worry? This is what I would worry about. If I sent someone to go get it, and maybe you have something in place for this, but do you worry that someone's going to start injecting shots and starve themselves because they want to be like, they're not feeling hungry? Like, I feel like there would have to be something in place that says you still need to eat 1,800 calories. Yes, you've been having 5,000 a day, and that's how you're 450 pounds. But like, make sure you're getting 2,500. Like you're at 5. do you have someone that guides them? Because I feel like they would need that
to know. Yeah. So we don't really focus on calories as much as we do grams of protein.
Getting protein.
Yeah. We always, depending on the individual, it starts at about 90 is the minimum, right? For a guy like me, we're saying 120 to 150.
I do 120 a day.
So we always say you have to get at least 90 grams of protein. You need at least 90 ounces of water, and you need at least 30 minutes of walking, running, swimming, whatever you can do to get that extra 30 minutes of activity in.
Yeah.
That's what's needed. And if you don't do those things, you're going to lose muscle or you're going to lose your hair.
So do you feel like, because I feel like people lose as I age, like as women age, I always say they need 0.8 at least. If they want to maintain, they need like 100% of their
per gram.
Yeah. So if they're 150 pounds, 120, they need 120 just to maintain that muscle mass. Because I know, and so are you guys at least, you're just having them get enough protein and eat enough?
It's protein, yeah. And it's different for somebody that starts at 300 than somebody that starts at 140.
Yeah.
You know, and the reality of it is, if you're a girl and you're 5'5" and you're 140 pounds, like you don't need to lose weight. But if you want to, and you want to go through this program, you're going to be on a light dosage. And realistically, you're not going to be on it for more than 8 weeks, maybe 4 weeks.
Really?
And then the goal there is to get off of it and keep it out of your system for at least 6 months, get everything back to the natural baseline before you consider doing it again. It's what I do with peptides. It's what I do with Anavar. It's what I do with everything. Like it's a light dose and then you're off of it.
Yeah.
And then you get back to where you need to be. And so it's just being smart, and it's just not smart to do it with a friend from the gym.
That I was going to say, I really feel like you have to, if you're doing, and maybe I'm wrong, maybe I'm overly cautious, you have to be working with a coach. In my opinion, there would have to be a coach or someone who, or like if I was guiding someone through, I'd be like, make sure, like to all my people in my community, make sure you're getting 0.8 to 1 ratio up. So if you're 180 pounds, even 0.8, we'll just say 0.7 to 0.8, right? Because if you are 200 pounds, that's still, as a woman, I would say force feed yourself 160 grams of protein.
Yeah.
Like, but is it hard to eat that much protein a day?
There's tricks.
Because I wouldn't want them to be malnourished and atrophy.
And that's the biggest, to me, the biggest concern is you've worked this hard for your muscle. That's the hardest thing
to gain.
Yeah. And so if you're going to do this wrong, you're going to lose muscle.
Yeah.
You want to lose 20 pounds and 10 of it being muscle? No. You need to stay on top of your protein. You're working out. I mean, the trick though is protein shakes. We tell everybody, just go to Costco, get 30 gram Premier protein shakes. I only do the pea protein ones.
Go to Transform. Are you kidding me?
Yeah, go to Transform. But
that's a lot of people are like, oh, I mean, I get pushback about shakes. They're like, I can't believe you drink it. If you try and eat 120 grams of protein a day as a female, you're like, I might eat 50 or 60 and be full. You have to like supplement or you're not going to get it.
And water too. I don't know if you've noticed, if you wake up and you don't have water until 1 or 2 in the afternoon, it's so hard to get your 120
It is
ounces
so
in.
damn hard.
If you get it out of the way, your first Yeti cup or your first Stanley cup at like 9 a.m., you'll get it through a gallon and a half that day. And it's like that with protein too.
Yeah.
Wake up.
Protein shake first thing. I do that every day.
And all of a sudden you get by the time you get to lunchtime, you've got 90 grams.
Yeah.
So, and that's the key. And that's how you do it right. You do it with a doctor. You do it with somebody who knows nutrition. You do the right dosage and you don't stay on it for too long. And a lot of the negative.
Okay. So if you're listening and you want the shots, go to Denver for that. Come to me for the coaching because I'm going to make sure, but you have someone, but still I'll do your coaching. My team will.
I think it's, a lot of,
can we get a link to put like in the show notes for everyone listening?
I'll get you one.
Wait, what's it going to go to?
It'll go to our.
Do we need a link for or if they just do a link to your site, they'll fill out a form and if they want
be our
hormones
patient. It'll be our patient intake form.
Okay.
And so it'll have all the information. We need your first name, last name, the consents, your goals, list of medications you're taking. And really, people might be wondering, like, what will disqualify me?
I was going to say contraindications. What are they?
Type 1 diabetes.
Okay.
And certain types of past cancers. And if it's a certain type, is doable to still do it, we refer people to an oncologist. But it's
so
very rare.
if someone has had cancer, they can potentially still do it. You'll just send them somewhere else so you don't have that risk and you don't do it wrong.
Correct. And
So
that's
you guys are
certain
very
types
safe.
of past cancer too. That's, I mean, breast cancer, I had 8 years ago, not an issue. You know, thyroid cancer, just beat it 8 months ago. Here's a doctor that specializes with this, right? And so there's a lot that there's nothing to worry about, and there's some that, but all the negative things I've heard are linked to semaglutide, not tirzepatide.
Okay.
And when you dig into them, it's usually an individual that's on so many types of medications, like tons, like 15, from antidepressants to blood pressure to whatever. And it's all in. Anytime someone dies, someone just passed away, unfortunately, in Australia from it. And
From
they
what?
published from semaglutide.
Okay.
And they published the whole thing. And you go through it and you're like, this was an unhealthy individual. The semaglutide probably made him live longer, because all he did was lose 40 pounds on the way out.
Yeah.
And I mean, there's just so many.
Tell me, what were the underlying conditions? What were his other underlying conditions?
He had a lot of heart issues.
Heart issues.
A lot of heart issues. He was overweight and he took a really high dose.
He was taking too high of a dose.
And I don't think it was the dosage, because that's whatever doctor gave it to him. That's the dosage that's in line for his body weight and his BMI.
Yeah.
But anytime you have an individual that is just that unhealthy, that's the bad thing about being overweight and unhealthy.
Yeah, he had other
about
things.
Not trying to eat healthy. I mean, he wasn't. To me, I'm like,
did they actually link it to semaglutide?
That was what the report was about.
So remember, I mean, we're going to get controversial now, but when everyone was dying from COVID, they would die in a car accident. But if they had COVID, they were listing it as dying of COVID, right? Yeah. You know that.
Yeah.
I mean, I might have people hating me now, and that's okay, but it's the truth. If they died of a heart attack and they had COVID, they called it COVID, right?
Yep.
And to get people to get the vaccines. Now we're really going political.
And that's kind of what happened with this Ozempic thing. In my opinion, it wasn't the Ozempic. It was an unhealthy individual that's been on the wrong road for a long time, and he didn't get this soon enough. We see patients that are on this, and when their blood pressure drops, their cholesterol drops.
I want to know if he got the vaccine. Just kidding.
Probably. It wasn't the vaccine though. It was Ozempic. No, but we see people getting off of a lot of meds when they're on these, because it's balancing their hormones. Girls come in and they're saying, "I just feel better. I feel more confident. Everything feels in line," and it's like a hormone balancing feeling that they get.
Yeah.
And
when they're on these shots,
when they're on it and they're in a groove and they're eating healthy and so for me, I think of it, for all the judgmental stuff, I think of it like, if you have these tools, use them.
Okay.
Right. If you're a football player and you're in the off season, you're probably going to have a completely different diet plan than you do when you're in the season.
Yeah.
Or if you're getting up on stage, or me, I'm going to Hawaii in 45 days.
Yeah.
Now's my time to dial it in. I only have 45 days. I'm taking a light dose. And I'm stacking some cool, fun stuff on it. And I'm going to get ready, because I know the tools. And if you have access to the tools and you know it's healthier than a margarita, why not do it? That's me.
If you have access to the tools, it's healthier than margarita. Call Denver.
Nobody judges you for a margarita, but they judge you for a weight loss shot.
I was just talking about this with someone, a margarita and alcohol, which I drink occasionally, not a lot, but I do. It is so insanely toxic for my body. Like, I was telling someone the other day, I'm like, it doesn't just cost $5.99 for the drink. It literally cost me my entire next day, because I'm like, it's like poison for my body.
And then it's 55 grams of sugar that convert into a worse sugar, and it slows down your metabolism.
Right. It's like, that is so widely acceptable unless you're Mormon, and then you're very judged for it.
Here's another thing. Don't do the skinny shot, but it's okay to do the HCG diet. That is phentermine, HCG, and limiting your body to 500 calories a day.
Really?
You're like, that's the most unhealthy thing.
Okay. You might have just hit on something that I think is planted in my head that I believe is the same as the skinny shot. Because I remember the HCG diet. I am so anti that. So anti. 500 calories is unhealthy. And so in my mind, I'm like, if people are injecting themselves with something that's going to make them not hungry, maybe I'm projecting my own experience as an past anorexic because I obviously had a decade and a half of an eating disorder. And so I fear that people will automatically try and restrict the way that I did, but maybe that's me putting my own shit on everyone else.
It's just, I mean, could be, but I just think it's a healthier.
It is
and this
definitely
is just
healthier.
me. It's a healthier option than I used to take hydroxycut in high school. I was 16 years old taking hydroxycut from Walmart to get in shape for the beach.
The things this guy has put in his body.
And is hydroxycut not 15 times worse?
It was
than this?
terrible. I remember I used to do it.
Yes. Running to mom. I'm like, I was just skateboarding in the driveway. I think I'm having a heart attack. I don't know what's going on. She's like, what'd you take? I'm like, Rip Fuel. Dad's like, how the hell did you get Rip Fuel? Like,
did you get it from his closet?
From you. But that was when, what was it called? Ephedrine? Was that
Ephedra?
Ephedra.
Yeah.
That was the one that
Rip Fuel was intense.
It got banned way back then. You used to be able to get it at GNC. Now you can't. But like that stuff was so much worse for your body than
the things that we were raised on.
It was just so much worse.
Yeah.
You know? And so I think I look at it as a tool. And if you have a goal and you know how to get there, it's no different than if I want to put on weight. I don't think I hate creatine.
Yeah, I love creatine.
People love it.
Yeah, it makes me a little bit puffy. My muscles a little puffy.
It makes me have Ziploc water-filled nipples. I hate creatine. But people like it.
I hope they make a reel out of that line right there.
People love it. I hate it, but the reality of it is when people are trying to gain weight, they'll double dose creatine.
Yeah, right? I do.
Or they'll double dose glutamine or certain things that they might get at GNC that they also have no idea what it's going to do. I used to take something called Lukic from GNC.
Okay.
And it was a humongous dose of leucine, valine, and what's the other? Lysine. It was the branched chain amino acids, but it was a huge dose.
Yeah.
I'm more scared of what that's going to do in 10 years than what I'm, And so.
Well, I think creatine has some pretty solid research benefits. As women should take 10 grams, they're saying now, for their neurological
It's
function.
Changed a lot. I remember Dad got mad at us taking it in football.
Yeah.
Because he's like, no one knows what that's going to do in 10 years.
Yeah.
And fast forward 25
it's like
years.
Women who are aging take it. Everyone take it.
For your brain. And they're mixing it now with like all the lines.
We have a line at Transform, a longevity line that we're coming out with.
Really?
Creatine. Yeah. It's good stuff.
What's the one that doesn't make you bloat? Monohydrate?
I don't know. I'm not the scientist.
One of them was
it.
supposed to not make me bloat, and it bloated me. I'm like, I'm done. This is my 5th time trying it. I'm done.
I'll have to get you our longevity one, and you can tell me if it does.
I'll try it again.
I'll try anything 5 times. Okay, but now just to loop back, because I don't want this open loop on the guy that died of semaglutide.
Oh yeah.
So I'm still stuck on the guy who died that we brought up in the podcast. Okay.
It was clickbait. It was someone was trying to take Ozempic down. Ozempic's been around the longest. Ozempic's been around since like 2012.
You don't do Ozempic though.
We do. It's an option, but
you want tirzepatide. You suggest that.
TIRZ, tirzepatide.
Tirzepatide. So it's not tri.
No. People call it tirzepatide all the time.
I've never even seen it written out because I have like turned my head to this stuff. I don't even know. Tirzepatide. I always thought you were saying it wrong.
Tirzepatide.
Okay, so there's no evidence that this guy actually died of semaglutide. No actual evidence. It was in his system, but he had a lot of other issues that.
He had lots of health issues, and there was lots of medications aside from the Ozempic in his body.
So there was probably some contraindications.
And so this was about when we opened up. But before this, keep in mind, Ozempic's been around. It went through 10 years of human trials, and people have had options or had access to it for type 2 diabetes long before it was approved for weight loss.
Okay.
And so it's been around. It just didn't really catch fire to the public until people are like, holy crap, I just lost 40 pounds. And so I think at this time, some family member was trying to sue Novo Nordisk. That's the maker of it.
Okay.
And since then, there's been a couple other ones where you dig in, because I'm
But what percentage of people are on it?
A lot.
Like, I wonder, should we chat GPT that?
Do
you have chat GPT? I'm curious, what percentage of Americans
are on GLP-1
of adult Americans are on some kind of a weight loss shot, any kind?
Well, do GLP-1 injections, or because that hits kind of all of them.
Okay.
That's this category of like, there's retatrutide coming out. That's
going
to be
retatrutide.
Reta, R-E-T-A, and then Trutide.
I was spelling it R-E-D-D-A. Like Reddit. Like the a-holes on Reddit who are listening to this right now.
Same maker.
Oh, not as much as we thought.
That's a lot of people.
Is it?
How many?
Okay, so that's more than 1 in 20. So in a room of 20, okay, I wonder, like, what if you were to say what percentage of Americans are aware of GLP-1 shots? Because that would be like, maybe not all of them even know who they are.
No, there's a lot. I mean, we onboard people every day that have never tried it.
Never heard of it?
Don't want to get information on it.
Okay. What's that say? Know about it. Okay. So let's say 82% of people know about it. What is 6 divided by what percentage of 82 is 6? Because that's the real percentage of people who know about it. That's, you know what I'm saying?
Well, 8 would be 10%.
Oh yeah, you're right.
8%.
So 8% of people about 8 to 10% of people who know about it are actually on it.
And I really do.
Can you see how? Okay. And it's grown like hugely. And what do you think? Like what percentage? I wonder if chat can tell us. What percentage of people do you think what percentage of people who know about it do you think will be on GLP-1 shots within 5 years?
They're saying 1/5 of America.
What?
Yeah. That's 1/5. America's
20%
on average overweight. It's from all the garbage in the food, all these things. And what they're trying to pass in Congress right now is make these more affordable. Right now, if you go get this at Fry's or Kroger, whatever you call it, it's like $1,200.
Really? Okay, so what does it cost from you guys?
Our starting dosage is $325.
Really? And okay, wait, how long does a starting dose last for?
1 month.
So $325 for 1 month. Do you have like packages where they can get it for cheaper if they did hormones or something for you?
There's discounts we run. You really don't want to bulk up on it because for us, we use the best pharmacy. They're the only one I trust. We can find it for a lot less. But these guys, they third party test each batch. They get it to us the next day so we can get it out. And what they're doing is they mix in B12 and glycine. Glycine's an amino acid that protects from muscle waste. So you don't lose your muscle. And then the B12 helps with mood, metabolism, absorption, also gives a little bit of energy. And so it's just a better weight loss option. And it lasts 1 month, but you don't want to buy a bottle, make it last for 3 months because we're all about getting the fresh stuff.
Yeah. You want the
it's
new.
Good for 60 days.
Yeah. Stuff expires.
Use it in 30. Yeah.
Okay. And so okay. Then the what?
Retatrutide.
Retatrutide.
This one's going to be
legit. Wait, but tell me, okay, so the tirzepatide, I'm saying it right now, T-I-R. The tirzepatide has...
Tupperware. I'm kidding.
Has less people who get sick on it. Also, what's the one that helps with fatty liver disease?
That's the retatrutide.
Okay, that's what you were telling me about.
So first off, tirzepatide, less side effects, better results. Retatrutide, same maker, both owned and created by Eli Lilly.
Okay.
The difference is it hits a third receptor that this one doesn't. It's called your glucagon receptor, and it's good for fatty liver disease.
So I wonder what the one's going to be called that hits the fourth receptor. Because it's going to, what?
Viking. That one's already coming
What's
out.
Viking? What is it?
It's another one that we saw at a peptide convention.
Okay, tell me about it.
I don't know much. I don't know what the fourth receptor is, but there's another one. There's a peptide that everyone can. So the idea for weight loss is you want to hit these receptors, right? But all these juice heads,
like steroid guys,
are saying, "Oh, mix the semaglutide with the tirzepatide. It's great." I'm like, "No shit, it's great. You're overdosing on it, dude." And what they're doing is they're overlining your GLP-1 receptor.
Oh,
you're working just that one receptor.
But why would a bodybuilder do that? They need to eat more
because they shred right before.
after. So they're doing this as like a all in, don't eat anything as I'm shredding down for a competition.
And it's like, you know, it's unhealthy. You're misusing it. Yeah, well, it could be that or rip fuel. I mean,
yeah, I see what you're saying.
It's
so we don't recommend that here.
Do not overlap
don't mix.
them.
Okay.
But what the retatrutide does is it hits 3.
Okay.
Viking's supposed to hit 4. I don't know what the 4th one's called yet, but they talked about it. It's probably, I don't know if it's 1 or 3 years. I've got no idea. And then there's another one called cagrilintide or cagrilintide.
Hits a 6th receptor?
No, this hits 2 random receptors that don't overlap. It's legit.
But okay, so what's Viking gonna do?
Viking's one that I don't have a lot
Why
of
should we be excited about?
Because it's gonna hit 4 receptors on its own.
Is it gonna like grow my hair? They need some that's gonna grow hair.
It's gonna grow your confidence and your success and your happiness.
You know, there's something to that. I actually thought it when you were saying that people are coming in doing these shots. This was a big like, oh, okay, I get this. It's like, you know, they have those, and this is like decades ago. They had those studies where people were growing plants, right? And in one house or one room, they're playing heavy metal and yelling at the plants and being mean to it. This is real.
Really?
And then, yes, in another room, they're actually playing good music. Have you heard this, Heston? Like speaking love to it, like not making love to it, but speaking. Drastic. This is a well-known study. Drastic difference. The plant that was yelled at and told it was a piece of shit, and versus the plant that was spoken love to, grew like the one that was loved grew big and vibrant. Crazy. Like on a cellular level, we actually respond to the words and the environment that we're in. And so it doesn't matter if everyone around you is saying things about how good you look. If you aren't saying or thinking them yourself, that's like speaking meanness to the most important person in the world. So when you said people have more confidence and they're more excited and alive, that actually heals a person on a cellular level.
And I've felt it myself.
Yeah.
I've seen people. I mean, it's so true.
Me too. Like, I don't even know the testosterone and stuff. Yes, my body's in balance, but part of me is like, I feel better. I speak better. I think better of myself. I'm in a totally different environment in my life that is like, all of it together is so healing.
You got to be careful. There's some entrepreneurs that I'm friends with that got on testosterone.
Yeah.
And they come back like 6 months later and they started like 9 different LLCs. I'm like, that's what I wrestle with.
That's kind of where I'm at right now.
Like, I'm a pool company.
Maybe that's why I'm like feeling the pressure to like figure out my next steps. Something. I'm not kidding. I've been fine for the last 2 years since Dave died. I let go of everything and I felt fine. And now I'm like, what am I going to do? I've been calling you.
Crazy. It does that with everyone.
Like, really?
You're just motivated and happy. And you have drive. It's the crazy. And it's like a subtle feeling because you don't feel like a juice head. There's no back knee. There's no hair loss. You know,
I don't. There's no acne because my levels are,
right. It's so funny. But this Viking, I don't have a lot of info on it. But it's going to hit 4 receptors.
That's all we care about. We don't know what they are.
Well, I'll figure out. It's got to be glucagon.
Okay.
And then the other one, but there's one called cagrilintide.
And what's that do?
It's another peptide. You take it once a week.
Okay.
It hits 2 completely different receptors. It's your CTR receptor. And I think I'm going to butcher this, AMYSM or AMYSR.
I think isn't that a S&M?
Yeah.
Different podcast.
It's called SNL. But with those two right now, with those two together, you can hit 5 receptors and you're not overriding 1 receptor.
Okay, I'm laughing. Right? This is awesome. It's just a game of hitting the most receptors.
Yep.
Okay.
If that's well, it's a game of losing weight. But what happens is patients, if they start at 300 pounds, they lose 90 pounds. They're on the max dosage, and after 3 months, you're going to plateau on it. So at that point, what do? You've already worked your way up too fast. So you have no more runway ahead for you. You literally can't lose more weight on these injections because whatever provider you're with worked you up to the max dosage way too fast. All you can do at that point is mix in something that hits more or additional receptors. Because now you're attacking your cravings and your inflammation, all these things on a different level. One fun thing about weight loss though, not even the skinny shots. So we track all this stuff. Like what's on the horizon, because that's my favorite part of the whole thing is weight loss and then hormones. But So there's this.
Is it
pill.
because you see people's lives change?
People love it.
Yeah. I mean, hello, I worked in the business forever.
It's insane. They come in crying. They bring cookies for us.
Yeah.
It's the coolest. I sold homes where people were ungrateful about me bending over backwards on a custom home for 11 months. I was married to them. And then they slapped me with a lawsuit because of the builder. And I'm right in the middle. These people are just so happy and grateful. But there's one coming out. It's called Allure, I think. Alluir.
Oh.
It's a pill. It's a $4,000 pill that you swallow. It balloons in your stomach for 6 to 8 months, making you full, and then you poop it out. It's in trials right now in Germany. And that's the stuff I love. And it's like, there's just so much out there.
Yeah, you're always hearing what's next.
And if you're not using these tools, you're not doing what's best for you.
If you're not ahead of the curve too.
Yeah, we have to be ahead of the curve because there's so much competition. But I just feel bad for people that stay stuck in a spot because of something they heard from a friend or something they're worried about when they might be on a road that's more dangerous.
See that I am guilty of that. But also I've never, like you said at the beginning, you said you have never had to deal with weight issues, right? Same. I never have. So I've never really looked into it. I've never really cared to do a ton of research about it.
If you can find that picture of Jimmy giving me a bagel.
I have it somewhere.
Just so you guys know, I was 107 pounds in 3rd grade.
You were so cute.
I was the chunk. I just had cold sores and
you were so
cellulite
cute
everywhere. But I was the fastest kid on the team. I was.
You were the nicest.
Just a little belly with
you were the cutest.
Yeah. I was everyone's little albino teddy bear.
I remember I used to dress you up and curl your hair.
Oh,
I used to put nightgowns on him that looked like dresses. It was so cute. You were Denver's 7 years younger than me, right? Yeah. When were you born?
6.
When were you
89.
born? No, you're 7 years younger than me.
You're 1 year younger than Gmo or 2?
1.5. Okay. We are like, you turn, because I'm 82. And we're like a month apart. I'm March, you're February.
Wow.
Yeah, I was 6 when you were born, but the next month I turned 7.
Okay. Yeah, I was the accident for those of you who
were wondering. He is such the golden child. I am such the black sheep. Oh my gosh. Okay, one question I have though. So have you had anyone have terrible reactions from it? Or like anyone I'm just curious, has there been anything where you're like, because I worry about people like sending them somewhere. I always want to make sure they're safe.
Terrible reactions? No.
Okay.
We've had people that call in. It's just funny.
How many people have you served, by the way?
Oh, I don't
Service. Know. Thousands?
Yeah.
Like thousands and thousands?
And we bring on, probably 5,000.
Total. Okay.
Around. So early on, the tirzepatide was the one that has helped a lot. When it was just semaglutide, it's so touchy, the dosages. That's the one that we felt like zombies on.
Harder.
And when patients take it, I mean, they just get sick. They're throwing up, even if you're a smidge too high. And so what we started doing with that was we started people off on like 1/8 of what the recommended dose was the first week.
Okay.
If they felt good, we increase it a little bit. And each week we'd increase it until they got to what the recommendation would be. And then we would give them a credit if they felt like they wasted some time or money. But as we went to tirzepatide, it's like clockwork. People know we know exactly what the starting dose is. There's only a few people that we give a lighter dose to. But with anything, Taylor got really sick on it.
Yeah.
She got really sick.
Taylor's his wife.
Yeah. And I got sick on it my first time because we didn't need it.
Yeah.
And so that was even a reduced dosage of what we were doing.
That's the semaglutide.
Tirzepatide.
Okay.
Now. Semaglutide wiped everyone out. That thing was hilarious. Tirzepatide, we both did a lighter dose and we both got sick. It didn't help that we were in Newport for 4th of July.
Drinking.
And eating corn dogs. So that could have been a big part of it.
This is my favorite podcast.
Sharky's margaritas and Baja shrimp tacos. with the injection don't work.
Yeah.
So no, but now what I do is I do 5 units, which is 1/5 of the starting dose.
Okay.
And it feels great. And I do
Yeah.
it just during the time I'm eating really clean, eating healthy, getting ready for the gym or getting ready for the beach, and then I'm going to get off of it.
Okay.
But patients that get sick, yeah, there's people that'll call in and say, I have a wedding to make and I need to lose this amount of weight. And we say, okay, well, here's the starting dosage.
Mm-hmm.
No, I need a higher one. Like, no. Well, then we find out they had their husband order it. And so they have the
double
dosage
that
they want.
Yeah.
And then they're in the ER getting an IV. I'm like,
so just don't be stupid. Like actually listen and follow directions like anything.
It's the dumbest thing. Listen
do it the right way.
He'll tell you everything.
Yeah.
And you don't want the caveat. If anyone is on weight loss injections and you have more than 100 pounds to lose, the trick is to not move up every month to a new injection because you're going to go to 2.5. It goes 2.55, 7.5, 10, 12.5, 15.
Okay.
And every month you have the right to increase.
Okay.
But if you're losing 10 pounds a month and you get up to your 6th month, you've lost 60 pounds. And then you go on that 15 milligram dosage for a second month. Cool. You've lost 70 pounds and now you're plateaued.
Yeah.
And now there's no more runway ahead of you.
Wow.
Where if you can find that dosage, usually you do the first dosage for 1 month, 5 milligrams the second dosage. If you can stretch that out for 2 months and lose 6 to 8 pounds a month, and then you go to the 7.5, another 2 months, you can get someone. We have people that lost 175 pounds.
So when you're saying span it out, I actually take the exact, and anyone who's in any of my groups or has done any of my coaching, it's the same approach with nutrition. We always say like, it's funny because I'm listening to you now and I'm like, does anyone really care about what I teach nutrition? They do care because they want to, learn how to make healthier choices, but they're all probably doing these shots. But like, I have the same approach. I say, play it like a game of cards, like a game of poker, like one card at a time. Because if you throw everything down at the same time, every tool that you have in your tool belt to use, like after you use that once, you can't use it again, right? Like if you have 10 tools and you're going to use all of them at the same time, you're playing a video game, you're going to use all of your hot buttons at the same time. You only need one, like one turbo blast. Ride that one out as long as you can. Then do the second one, ride that one out as long as you can. Third, right? Because then when you're out, at least in nutrition, we have to then slingshot you and figure out how to raise your metabolism again. Because you're essentially, every time you use a tool, your metabolism's going down a little bit, right?
Yeah.
So then we have to reverse diet you back to where you have more tools. So it's kind of that same thing with these shots. It's like be as simple, as low as conservative as possible.
Less is more.
Less is more. Same with testosterone. Less is more because you can always add.
And you can get off of it. You can wean off of it. You can stay on a light dose long term.
That is a good question. Do you have to wean off of it?
There's no right or wrong way.
Okay.
You can go. I go cold turkey.
Okay.
You would probably go cold turkey when you hit wherever you want to get. You don't need it, but if you did, you would probably just stop and get off it for 6 months. There's one thing we didn't talk about is there's a lot of people that just can't lose weight. I've actually seen people that have paid more money on trainers.
I know. I've worked with a lot of them.
They actually have hormonal imbalances. They have sleep apnea. They have a food sensitivity they've got no idea about. And so what we tell people is, look, get on this skinny shot, get to your happy place. Once you're at your happy place, your goal weight, now let's dig into your blood work and find out what caused it. And let's nip the root cause. It's normally a hormone issue, or it's normally a food sensitivity. Like for me, it was dairy. I tell you, I stopped eating eggs.
No.
Switched to vegan cheese.
What?
I mean, not forever. I did it to prove that holy cow, it worked. I'll still do
week.
An egg muffin, cut out eggs, all dairy. Did it for 90 days. I lost 10 pounds of visceral fat. My cholesterol dropped 60 points. And Chris was like, I told you, all you have to do is do that blood work.
It's interesting. I feel like now, this is very relative. Anyone listening is going to be like, vomit, Heidi, don't say this. But I actually, as my body composition has changed, I feel like I can feel more. So visceral fat, you guys, is fat inside of your organs. It's like in your stomach. So a lot of women, as they age and cortisol goes up, which remember, my cortisol's been high, you can actually, that leads to higher visceral fat. So if you're like, gosh, I'm lean everywhere, but my like the men who have the apple stomachs, but they're lean everywhere, that's high visceral fat, which is actually the most dangerous fat. But
or
I was
inflammation, which
lots of inflammation.
People don't realize dairy causes
dairy, gluten. Yeah. And I've been thinking about that. I'm like, man, I should really clean up. I mean, I eat 80-20, but even in that 20%, maybe now I'm at the point as I'm aging where it would be a good idea to like limit my dairy, limit my gluten, you know?
Yeah, it's just hard to get away from eggs. There's so many benefits from it's pros and cons for me. Like, I mean, I used to eat 6 eggs every day and whey protein shakes every day. And so what I did, I limit myself to like 1 egg a day, you know, and I just cut back a lot. I do pea protein shakes now.
Wow. So you're like completely off of
I've cut it out.
Yeah.
Because of that one experience I had. I remember being like, I don't feel like I look that much different in the mirror, but I'm 10 pounds lighter and I feel better.
Wow.
I had less acid reflux. I'm somebody that takes Nexium every day.
Oh, yeah.
Since my mission, I was gargling acid from all the peppers in Brazil. I was just like always burning. But cutting out the dairy did a lot.
Yeah.
So but people have a root cause, and the goal is getting them to their happy spot and then figuring out what caused it.
Yeah.
And then hopefully never having to go on it again.
Yeah.
And there's people that just can't do that through diet, but the diet is still going to be the most important thing. Have you read that there was a study that said there was 2 people. One guy worked out every day and another guy had the same diet and he did not work out at all in the same period of time. And what they decided was that 80% of it was diet, and 80%
oh, yeah,
of
I
the
know that.
results were diet.
I didn't hear that study, but like we've always said, you can't it's the whole, you can't outrun a bad diet, not only looks wise, but how you are on the inside. Like it is,
how you feel.
I would even say 90% diet. The people on our show, there were some that could never work out because of some of the things that they were dealing with. They changed their diet. They lost hundreds of pounds.
That was a fun show. That was
I
so
know.
Fun to do, huh?
Well, I was talking to someone the other day, Chris. But I mean, he was actually, we've known for a while because I know he's been kind of pitching shows for a handful of years, 5 years, 6 years, since 10. Cool. But like transformation shows have like gone away because the weight loss shots. Man, the thing is, someone's going to come up. Yes. Why doesn't someone do that? Like maybe it's not about
people at a time.
Yeah. Maybe it's not about like losing weight. It's about like
how you feel.
Yeah. How you feel, your blood work. Like what trauma are we we should do it, Denver. We should pitch a show.
True side effects.
I'll do the ketamine and we'll do ketamine benefits. And we'll dig into the trauma and like heal them as we heal them.
Yeah. It'd be fish in a barrel. People will lose the weight they need to lose.
We should get a show going.
Let's do it. See, we're on testosterone. We just signed up for another thing.
But can you imagine that'd be a great marketing channel to get people into your med spa? And
it really would be. It would be fun to do it because you would be able to help people by the masses.
Denver, we're brother and sister. We should pitch this show.
We can do it.
We can.
I'm not kidding. It's so easy it's just such a proven plan.
Yeah.
Or a proven, what's the word? Map?
Yeah.
That if you
vocabulary is not our thing.
No, never has been. No, if you tie in your nutrition.
Darren can build him a house.
Yeah.
Gmo can fly him.
Yeah.
Mom can drink with them on the patio.
Yeah, I'll do that too. No, but if you tie in your diet plan, that's always going to be the most important part.
Yeah.
And I always tell people, look, if you take these shots, you're going to lose weight. But if you don't do the right thing, if you do it the wrong way, you're going to lose half the amount of weight and you're going to lose muscle.
Yeah.
And you're going to be wasting your money. Nobody wants to be on these just because of the financial aspect.
Yeah.
No one wants to spend.
Is that the biggest hang up people have? Really?
Yeah. When these things go down, like Trump's trying to make these $88. That's just the last thing. He wants it to be $88 like it is.
Okay.
In wherever, New England.
Okay.
If that passes, it's going to change our whole business plan and it won't be good for us, but it would be so good for America.
So basically, yeah, I didn't know that. So they're working on passing a bill to make this 80.
They're trying to, yeah. The US is the only country that has all these intermediary, like almost like a pharmacy broker. So they go to the distributor.
Yeah, but then sometimes I'm like, if the government's telling me to do something or isn't that a bad thing? Like, I'm like, huh.
Well,
I'm a conspiracy theorist
no, I
just a
kind of
little
am
bit.
too.
Like, is the earth flat or is it round? Did we really land on the moon? This kid goes so many ways.
Don't get my wife involved.
Don't get me involved.
She doesn't believe any of that either.
Neither do I.
Neither does Aaron. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know, Heston. Do you think we landed on the moon? Neither do I.
You don't either?
Ryan says we did. He thinks I'm full of it. I'm like, you just, no.
What's that movie? I just watched this. It's like, but you can see the string.
Yes. Have you guys seen
Friends.
the conspiracy theory parties that all these friends are having?
No.
They're like doing wine nights and every couple. You guys, I want to do this so bad. Can we do this?
What is it?
Every couple creates a presentation on their conspiracy theory and we present it drinking wine.
Oh, that's fun.
You put it up on the TV and you try and convince the audience of the conspiracy.
I don't even know what I would go with.
There's so many. There are so many.
Go with something heavy.
Was JFK an inside job? Twin Towers. Was that a demo job? Have you seen? We talked about conspiracy theories. Now, why don't we go ahead and loop back around to, so you mentioned peptides. I don't think I've ever gotten peptides from you guys. I do have peptides. Do you know anything about Diamond Glow?
Yeah.
I haven't taken it. I'm scared to take it. I've had it for months. Is it going bad?
Have you mixed it yet?
No.
No, it's good then. It's usually good for like a year.
Okay.
Before you mix it. Once you mix it, put it in the fridge. Peptides are the best.
Really? I'm scared.
So one of our PAs, Shane, he was telling about a report he read. Did you know that the human body, there's like hundreds of thousands of receptors throughout your body.
Okay.
Hundreds of thousands of receptors that scientists don't even know what they are yet. And each one triggers something. Like there's peptides to trigger your skin to have more pigmentation.
Oh, yeah. I know that because our family for like decades has been doing, what's it called? Melanotan? Melatonin?
We call it melanotan just because it's catchy, but
okay.
Melanotan. And,
yeah.
I mean, like there's peptides for everything: sleep, anxiety, depression, mental clarity, alertness. You can even dig into, I mean, there's just so many things that you can trigger that for me, I'm thinking like, okay, I see where it was 10 years ago. Now I see where it is today. It's pretty much mainstream. In the next 10 years, there might be peptides that, I mean,
unlock sex drive.
Anything.
Like literally. They do?
Yeah.
What?
There's a few of them.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm not telling you about it with your new hormones. But there is.
Isn't that funny? That's the first thing I go to.
Yeah.
Well, because a lot of women are losing it right now. This is what my audience needs.
You know what your audience would love?
What?
I wish I had the box here. So Chris is the CMO for a company called Addy.
Oh, wait.
ADDYI.
What does it do again?
It's a sexual wellness medication for females.
Okay.
So it's like Viagra for girls.
Oh, well, do you know?
And
so
weight loss too.
I do a local estrogen serum. Not the kind, like there's some that you have to like put up, whatever. A hormone doctor was telling me that's like Viagra for women.
Really?
Yeah. A local estrogen. I mean, something's working. I don't even know what it is at this point. Could be testosterone. It could be environment change. Wink, wink.
Yeah.
Could be. Something's working.
The Addy's been kind of popular with the girls though.
Okay.
It's like a female Viagra. And you take it for like 30 days to kick in. It also helps with appetite, losing a little bit of weight. Yeah.
What's it actually doing in your body? Maybe we need Chris on to tell us about this.
Chris is the one. I just know it's the
I need Chris to come on. Can you and Chris come on together?
Oh, he has, we have a Zoom because he works with that company.
Yeah.
And in the back it says, let's talk about sex.
Oh my gosh.
And it's pink and we get on this.
Can we put it here for our podcast?
I wish I could show. We just did a Zoom with a bunch of attorneys and all these people. And he didn't realize it was on the background. So I'm in the parking lot of Barrows. I just left lunch with Taylor and he pops up with
let's talk about sex.
And it's a big pink. Let's talk about sex. And so we started calling him the Addy Daddy.
Okay. We need to have Chris on because I want to, and I want the sign in the background. Can you bring it with him?
Oh, yeah.
I'm serious.
It's built into a Zoom.
Oh, damn. Okay. But I really want you guys both to come on and to talk about it, or him if you don't want to. But I feel
it's fun talking to him about it because he is like the wizard with what every little thing does. All I know is I've tried everything and I've seen people's lives change. And so I know a lot just because I've been doing it every day for 4 years.
You started the company. You're the face. You're the name.
It was never my intention to be on like the medical part of it. I just have heard him talk to so many people. But he like, it's just so cool hearing his conversations because he just knows everything about every specific hormone, every body marker and what it does. And
okay, then before you go, we're gonna like figure out a time to do this with
yeah, he'll like it.
With Chris. Yeah. Okay. I mean, there's so much. This is such a good podcast. Yeah. There's so many fun things in here. But so I just to kind of tie it all around, if anyone wants more information on, well, I guess I should say, how do I feel about it? Because I am definitely more okay with these things. I'm more open-minded because, like I said, my journey with ketamine and realizing that there's a lot more sometimes than we realize. We just have to stop and learn.
Yeah.
I never really took the time to like ask if people were really hurt by it. I love that you kind of described the difference between semaglutide and tirzepatide and these other things coming out. It actually all makes a lot of sense. If anyone is interested in talking to you or someone on your team, we'll put a link. You'll get me a link before this comes out.
Link and a phone number.
Phone number.
Yeah.
What's your website or TikTok or whatever?
Nulevel Wellness.
Nulevel,
one word. Nulevel Wellness.
Okay.
Spa. We don't use the med spa as much on like the TikTok stuff because we kind of talk more about the hormone balance and things like that. But yeah, you can find us on TikTok, Instagram, websites.
This
Nulevel
is
Wellness,
great.
Med Spa. And yeah, and even here's the cool thing: if they're still skeptical, just have a conversation with one of our providers.
Okay.
There's no obligation to move forward. That is one thing. We don't require membership. We don't require a 90-day commitment.
Yeah.
We don't require a consultation fee. Have the free consultation with one of our providers. If you want to move forward, place your order. You'll have it the next day. And there's no obligation to refill. If you lose weight and you feel good, call us for a refill. If you didn't feel good or you didn't lose weight, you feel like it was a waste of money, you don't have to refill.
Yeah.
There's no obligation. And that's why we really are the best. And you get to talk to all of our awesome girls.
I love it.
Yeah.
I'm so proud of you. You've done so good.
I'm the janitor there. I really am. I take out the trash.
Okay.
I pat everyone on the back, keep them happy.
You do. You're good. You like, that's the best part. I love going in there because you're always there. You're always smiling. Even when you're stressed out of your mind, you always stop and take time for me and everyone who said, like, it's crazy. It's awesome.
It's fun.
Oh, do you have any final words before we go?
No. Thanks for letting me try and convince you. I don't know if I necessarily did, but Chris will convince when he comes on.
Well, here's what I'm going to say. If you do it, if you go work with Denver and do any of you can always reach out to me. I'll help with the nutrition side of it. I'll make sure you stay on track. My team will.
They'll need a nutrition thing dialed in.
Yeah.
We talk about that. Like,
cool.
Don't waste your money if you're not going to do the right way.
Okay. Well, Denver, thank you so much for being here. We'll get Chris on. We'll talk about sex. And then everyone, thank you so much for listening. I hope you found some good information in this. I hope you were entertained because
and I hope you don't judge your friends for being on the Skinny Shot.
I hope you don't judge us for some of the things we talked about today. All right. Love you.